but I would raise a question with them because they really don't have an idea of the cross. You see, the cross is vertical and horizontal. That means that there has to be a relationship with God and a relationship with humanity. That is a cross. But if all you have is a relationship with God, praise the Lord all day long, and no relationship with your brother or your sister, you don't have a cross, you have a stick. And a stick is something that you use to beat somebody instead of lifting someone, because here is Jesus, the one who can take what is a moment of execution and turn it into a powerful, miraculous symbol of love. That's the powerful thing about Jesus. For love is radical, and a radical re-examination of ourselves. And that is the challenge of the church, because the church has selective amnesia. The church has selective amnesia because we have a tendency to cry for certain people, but our heart does not break for other people. So we'll cry for one group, but not the other. And I would raise the question to say that in the economy of God, that God's tears flow for all of his children who are hurting, whether they are on the West Bank or whether they live in Tel Aviv. That all of their children, whether they are small children in Libya or children living on the south side of Chicago, no matter where you are, your heart should break for those who are hurting, not to have selective tears for one group or the other. That is what God calls the church to do, to have the kind of heart that is big enough and breaks for everybody. It is Audre Lorde who makes the statement that you have to be careful about rebuilding the master's house with the master's tools. She goes on to say that one who has a degree of commitment to love and this idea is the one who can transform the world. And the challenge in the church today is the church wants to preach Jesus, but does not want to preach what Jesus preached. There is a major difference, because you can preach Jesus, but if you don't want to preach about justice, you don't want to preach about love, if you don't want to preach about grace, and you don't want to preach about poverty and injustice, then you are not preaching what Jesus preached, because the first message that Jesus gave in the 4th chapter of Luke is that the Spirit of the Lord is upon me to preach the good news to the poor, the recovery of the sight to the blind, to release the captives and those who are oppressed. And this year that this is the year that the Lord will fulfill this. And so all of this, when we deal with this idea of love, especially within the church in this day and age, is challenging. And the reason that it is so challenging is because Jesus is a problem. Jesus is a problem in the church because Jesus will mess you up. Mess up your ideas of things. You will have a prejudice on one hand. But here comes Jesus with this idea of love. Jesus will say the last shall be first and the first shall be last. A lot of people don't necessarily want to hear that, but Jesus is the one who deals with lepers and outcasts, those who are broken, that he hangs out with sinners and tax collectors. And it is the role of the church not to be in these four walls, but to be in the community. The church is not this building. If this building disappears tomorrow, don't want it to disappear, but if it disappears tomorrow, the church still survives because it is the heart of the people. That is the church. This is the challenge for the church. We get caught up in a building and maintaining the building and not doing the ministry that God calls us to do. But I simply stop by here to let you know that love has power. This I do believe. Love has power to bend the universe toward justice. Love is this. Love is children laughing, a child laughing, and an elder smiling. Love is butterfly kisses and hugs from an elder mother. Love is a crayon masterpiece on your refrigerator from your child. Love is morning coffee with your sister. Love has power. Love is the smell of fresh buttered rolls and pecan and peach preserves and apple butter, red velvet cake, peach cobbler made from scratch by your mama. Love is a newborn baby falling asleep in your arms. Love is waking up at 3 a.m. to feed a hungry child. Love is simply fresh fried chicken and catfish made for you on one day after a tired day. Love has power. This I do believe. Love has the power to heal broken hearts, heal wounded spirits, heal bruised souls. Love has power. This I do believe. Love is willing to clean up a physical mess in the one you love who's in the last stages of HIV/AIDS. Love holds the hand of a wife who has fought the fight against cancer but is losing the battle. Love is wider than any ocean, deeper than any sea, higher than any mountain, brighter than any star. This I do believe is love. Love was born in a little town called Bethlehem. Love walks upon water, talks to storms, tears roof off in order to get a friend to Jesus. Love embraces prostitutes and redeems lost men, restores broken women, resurrects dead brothers, reinstitutes dismembered humanity, reclaims oppressed people, recaptures lost joy, rehabilitates damaged lives, releases long-held grudges, recovers wayward sons, reconstitutes fractured hearts, reconciles injured families, remembers sinners on a cross, reforms rebellious people. Love is saving a dying thief on an old rugged cross. Love can conquer death, for God so loved the world that God gave God's only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in God shall not perish but have everlasting life. Love does not delight in evil but rejoices in truth. Love always protects, always trusts, always preserves. Love never fails. This I do believe, for I am persuaded that neither life nor death, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height or depth, nor anything created shall be able to separate us from the love of God. For God's love is steadfast. This I do believe. What is the greatest commandment? To love God with all your heart, with all your mind. What is the greatest commandment? To love your neighbor as yourself. And God is calling upon God's people to join in a great conspiracy of love. The idea of love is dangerous and is revolutionary. And when love and justice come together, worlds begin to change and lives are altered when love begins to move in and push hate out. This is the power of love. This I do believe. God bless you.
Otis, I wish I could believe what you say.
Hold on, wait a minute. Do you want to take a seat? I'm not done yet. Okay.
Maybe we can talk.
We can talk about it
after the intercession.
Okay. Yeah,
In front of
this.
people, you know?
Yeah, we have to do the intercession first.
I know.
Now, the next piece that we are going to do is a very special intercession. We do this in Chicago all the time. And what I'm going to ask that you would do, I asked you to look at your neighbor earlier because I was trying to get you ready for what we're going to do right now. Is intercessory prayer. And what we're going to ask is that whatever you are praying for, whatever is the particular need in your life, that you would share that with your neighbor and ask that your neighbor would pray with you this week, and you would share with your neighbor also what your particular prayer is this week. So simply just find your person right next to you and just share with them that you would like for them to pray with you on this, whatever issue it may be. So just turn to your neighbor and just tell them what's on your heart at this time. Okay, yes.
Wir machen jetzt die Fürbitte und das geht so, wie es in Chicago der Brauch ist, für die das jetzt vielleicht nicht ganz verstanden haben. Wendet euch eurer Nachbarin, eurem Nachbar zu und erzählt dem, worum ihr ihn oder sie bittet, dass er oder sie in dieser Woche für euch möge beten. Also ihr richtet eure Gebetswünsche aneinander.